Hey, all my baby pagans, it's Andrew. As you know, been doing paganism for about 12 years now, and I have a new topic that I would like to discuss with all of you. Um, and the topic for today is magical journals. This includes Book of Shadows, if the term you generally use if you're Wiccan. This includes grimoires. This includes black books, which is my personal preference. This includes dream journals, prayer journals, all of that. Thank goodness. There we go. Okay. So, what are the differences? Which one do you use? Which one do you want to use? All of these things. There are a lot of questions surrounding magical journals. Usually, when you first start, do you have to have one? What if my parents find it? I don't know if I'm comfortable writing all of this stuff down. I'm good at remembering things. Why do I need to write it down? All of those things, that is what I am here for to explain. So, a grimoire, um, I went through all three of what I'm going to talk about, the Book of Shadows, the grimoire, and the Black Book. Book of Shadows is generally the Wiccan term, and it is kind of used synonymously with grimoire a lot of the time. But there is a distinct difference between grimoire and Book of Shadows. A Book of Shadows is a reflection of yourself in a book. It is all of your personal information. It is spells that you did. It's herbs that you collected. It's your calendar for, like, on April 14th, I did this and this and this spell, and this is the instructions that I did. This is the lunar, this is what happened, it's your collection, things that you specifically did. And that is a Book of Shadows. It is a reflection of yourself. Some people say it is a shadow of yourself, and that's kind of how you can remember Book of Shadows. It's a shadow of yourself. But a lot of people don't really like the phrase Book of Shadows. A lot of people think that it sounds kind of weird, especially if you're not in a social group that is pagan or Wiccan. Uh, so the another one you can use is a grimoire. A grimoire is different than a Book of Shadows in the sense that a grimoire is general information. It's like an encyclopedia, and you can pass it down, or you can give it to somebody else. It's like a family thing, is a grimoire. You don't have to share it with your family, obviously, but it's all the general information. It's all, oh, amethyst stands for and affects this, this, this. I found out a new word and it means this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. It's general information that all pagans can use. So when you find a new pagan, you could be like, here's information. Now, obviously, you don't have to be like, I have a grimoire and anyone can use it. That is not what you have to do. That's just a general distinction between the two. And then what I personally use is called a black book. Black book comes from Switzerland, Sweden. That's where the term is. When Christianization came through, pagans stopped using fancy, distinguishable books, and they started hiding their pagan information into agendas and calendars and stuff like that. And so being a bullet journaler, when I found out that concept, I was like, that's pretty... Actually, I didn't find the concept first. I was bullet journaling, and then I started recording my dreams and stuff in there. And then I was like, I wonder, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking it up, and then I found black books, and I was like, well, I must have some ancestry connection telepathically, because some of my ancestors came from Switzerland, Sweden, and that's where black books originated from. So I was like, well, I guess that's what I'm doing. So I have some of my copies, and then I have my new project that I'm going to show all of you. So this was the first book I had that turned into a black book. It has all of my agendas and stuff and all of that, but then every couple of months there's little journal entries, prayer answers, 3 sections in 3 months, all of this. I even had a list of words that I wanted to define, and I wanted to make a glossary. So that's pretty much my first black book. Filled it all the way up. Look how thick this thing is. I filled it all the way. And then after that, I had this one where I started with big boxes and whatever, and I also did regular bullet journal spreads, all that. That was more of a bullet journal than a pagan thing. This one, I wrote down, Dear Dark Goddesses. I wrote down all of the instructions for a ritual that I had done, which is more of a Book of Shadows thing. Exactly what I said, and another one when I did it, what the lunar things were, and then it went on to be a bullet journal and everything, and then it came back to all of the pagan stuff. So it was that one. Then there was this one. This one was supposed to be for all of 2020, and then I ended up not really liking it and how it was set up, so I stopped using it. But yeah, my 2 baby pagans that I have and their stuff. Different notes and things from leadership meetings that I go to. And then I started using a sketchbook. And what I am planning on doing now is using these to pretty much organize all of my stuff that I have on Pinterest boards, all my stuff that I've written in here throughout the years, my Book of Shadows from high school, my this and that, all of it. I'm going to organize it into these books. And that's going to be a big project. But because it's been 12 years, I have 12 years worth of stuff to fit in these, and I have a feeling that I'm going to need to buy more and write volume 1, volume 2 and stuff. So yeah, but so that's Book of Shadows, Grimoire Black Books. I will post my Pinterest boards in the description below. So if you want to take a look at that and follow that. Also, a lot of people, that's the basics. Here's something that kind of bothers me, and I feel like it bothers a lot of young pagans, is that when you look up Book of Shadows pages, Grimoire pages, on Etsy and on Pinterest and just online or whatever, there's all of these cool calligraphies, and in the movies it has pictures, and you can tape herbs and dried herbs into the book, and people use this, and oh, it needs to be a pretty cover, it needs to be leather, this, that, the... Man, I got this at Target for $10, and it worked just fine. And you want to know why? It's because I wrote to it first. I spent the first page, a couple pages actually, saying, my name is Andrew, this is what I want to use you for. If you don't want me to use you for it, just give me some type of, message, let me know, this, that, the other. And, I bonded with my book. It does not matter if you are using a composition notebook, a regular school notebook. My first Book of Shadows is a college ruled pink notebook that I wrote my Magickal name all over, which also you don't have to have because I don't even use it anymore. But that'll be a whole other video. And you like I just like you read things in books. My book of shadows when I was in high school was so terrible because I was reading the Sweep series and I was reading the Secret Circle, and I was like, oh, they did this initiation in the Secret Circle. I'm gonna write down the instructions because clearly that's like reliable information. It was not, but it was the stuff that I knew in the beginning, and that's all I really had, and it led from that very shaky base information to create a very solid foundation. I ended up looking into initiations. I ended up looking into this, found different information. I've seen people with, they call it junk journals, that seriously are just like when you go into like metaphysical stores and they have those like little bookmarks that say like citrine and amethyst and garnet and whatever else stones and like the little things that they use, they just tape it into like a sketchbook or they tape it onto like construction paper and they just stick it in the thing, and that's it. It is completely up to you what you want. And the thing is that you can get started right now and pull a me and do it, make it fancy 12 years later, because who cares? It does not matter. These and these, I want them to be passed down to my sister's kids who, like, and to my grandkids and to, nieces, nephews, everything, so that they can see all of what I did, all of what I learned, and they don't have to do it on their own. That is what they're for. They're for you, and they're for the people that come after you, so that so that no new person feels alone. When somebody needs help, you don't need to say, well, I did something like that, but I have no idea what I did. No. Book of Shadows, Grimoire, Black Book, whatever you want to call it, is so that you could say, oh, I did something like that. Hold on a second, let me find the instructions. Oh, we need this, this, this. Okay, let's go do that. Don't let anyone tell you it has to be fancy. Oh, it has to be gifted to you by a high priest. No. Go to Target, go to Walmart, go on Etsy, that's where I got this one. Go on, go to Staples and buy a better binder and print off a fancy picture and put it in the front and just do it and be done. Buy a scrapbook and just make a little cool thing. Whatever makes you comfortable is what you need to do. And for the people out there who are like, oh, but I have a good memory. Okay, but why do you need to rely on your memory to help somebody who comes after you? Because if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I know you're pagan, and I want to get started, you can then be like, oh, well, I remember most of my stuff, but I wrote some things down if you want to look at it. Here you go. Even if it's just writing down, oh, I went to this website and it seemed reliable. Here's a list of websites. Whatever it is for you, that is what you need to make it. Make it personal. Talk to your journal first. Write down a little thing and people call it a book dedication in some circles. Look up your ancestors, see if they did something else, where they had a different viewpoint on what it is, and see what vibes with you. Clearly, I have a problem with picking a system. Okay, so don't feel bad if you see one and you're like, oh, this will be perfect, and then you start using it and you're like, I hate this, I need to start over. Don't feel bad about it. And if you are in that situation where you live with somebody who's unapproving for whatever reason, use a productivity journal. Use a blank black thing and make some calendar stuff first, and then start using it so that then nobody like thinks anything of it. There are plenty of ways, and on my Pinterest board I've saved different things, so definitely go through and just look it up and get your own ideas, or if I said something that sparked a creative interest in you, do it. But don't think that you have to have something super fancy. That can come later if you want to. Okay, that was supposed to be fun, but it ended up getting kind of serious, and then seriously talking about fun. So check out my Pinterest in the description below if you need any ideas or if you need help, and feel free to reach out to me if you don't have some type of information and you need, or you saw in my list of words in the glossary and you're like, what are these things? And just feel free to reach out to me, message me. I'm always down to help. Peace, guys.